Welcome to another one of my videos, and in this one, not too long, I want to give you my 1-year review of the MJJC SV 3.0 foam cannon that I use as my everyday foam cannon. And before I get into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with everyone you know and help me grow my channel. It's free right down there. I'd really appreciate it. Let's quickly get into this. Over the past year, this is my primary foam cannon. And there are a lot of pros and a few cons that you either kind of learn to live with. Even though this is a more expensive foam cannon, it does create some really great foam with many different kinds of pressure washers. I personally use a Comet static pressure washer. Mine happens to be wall mounted. I think it just looks nice, but it performs very well. I've also used it with a Karcher Cube, more of an entry-level pressure washer, and it works just as well. Now, really quick for the pros of this MJJC SV3 foam cannon is I absolutely love every foam cannon I've used and every foam cannon I've seen on YouTube or anywhere else. This is the #1 reason I love this foam cannon, and it's the easy twist on top. It's not a screw on top, it's a twist on top, right? So if you just watch here, if I just twist it gently, you can kind of see it rise and it just pops out, right? So you can see there's no threading right there. It's like a point where it grabs the cap and then it pulls it down to a nice, clean, secure connection. And there are O-rings on the bottle, and there's a top O-ring on the inside of this cap, but there's nothing on the sides. But let me just put this straw back in. When you put it down, I haven't done anything yet, right? And I just start to slowly turn it, you'll see that the cap just falls, it just draws itself in, and it's sealed, and it's not gonna come off, okay? So that's like the #1 feature of this foam cannon. Now, like many other foam cannons, the white portion adjusts for your fan spray, wide or more narrow, and the blue portion lets you go vertical or more horizontal, if you can see in there. But you know what, I always leave in the horizontal position. I don't think I've ever twisted this to go horizontal from vertical. If I need to go horizontal, I'll just turn the cannon over to one side just so I get that horizontal pattern. I don't see a reason to twist this. And from that point on, you'll notice that the straw, when you go horizontal, it always follows gravity because of that weighted filter ball down there that takes the straw everywhere it needs to go. So it's always at the bottom of the solution, okay? But here, those are the great things. And oh yeah, it's a clear bottle, fairly easy to read the milliliters in here as you fill it up. And even though it's smooth, it does have this little niche right there. I don't know if you can tell. So you can grab it. Even though there's no texturing on this bottle, there's an indentation that you can put your thumb there and just, it has someone to hold it so you can pull that right out, okay? So those are all the great things. The twist on the silicone straw, so it's gravity, let gravity do its work, so it's always in the solution, and the little grab notch. Now, as far as the cons, it didn't happen right away, this major con, which is major, not major. It took a while. So I don't take care of this at all. I don't rinse it out. I don't clean it in a year. I do nothing. And I actually, if I fill this whole thing up, I get it takes about a half of this volume to do one car or a small SUV. And then I'll just leave it there for the next wash, right? I don't empty it at all. And the solution just sits in there in my cabinet. You know, it could be for however long. It could be a couple hours, it could be a couple days. It just depends, right? What my schedule looks like. Now, what happened over time, which I thought was really interesting, is that the filter ball here, you can see, you can kind of see it's kind of corroded. Now, I have no idea what this is actually made of, but it started corroding, and you can actually see in the bottom, maybe, maybe not, a little bit of staining in the bottom of the bottle from that corrosion. And at one point, I was using the Canon, and I wasn't getting the foam I'm used to. It was really weird. I was double checking my dilution ratios and things like that, anything you can think of. And I said, it finally occurred to me that it was probably the filter inside the weighted ball. I can't, it's so small, I can't, you know, if I try to check it out to show you, it's so small, I don't think the camera would capture it. It's smaller than your pinky fingernail. It's so tiny. And at the time when I was working on a car, I didn't have any filters. I still don't have any filters. I took apart the ball. So I took it off the straw, the silicone straw. And what I did was I took a pair of vice clamps and another pair of adjustable wrenches. So I'd vice clamp the ball to hold it. And then there are ever so slight notches that will hold a adjustable wrench, but you still might want to keep our vice grips anyway. And I just torqued it as hard as I could, and I put some decent pressure to untorque it, and this piece does unscrew off. And inside it, I found is an itty bitty piece of metal mesh, and it was clogged to heck. Like it was almost just closed at that point. I'm like, I got to work on this car. What am I gonna do? I'm like, all right, well, it's metal. Maybe there was something, it reacted to something in the chemicals I've been using and whatever the shampoo was. So the only thing I had that most of you have anyway is iron remover, right? So I just, I had my nitrile glove on. I had this itty bitty piece of mesh, right? I squirted it liberally with iron remover and just massaged it in with my hand. And iron remover by Adams happens to be orange, and I was just massaging it through. It actually became purple. Like it was reacting to whatever was in the metal mesh, right? So I probably did 2 or 3 applications of this, just massaging it in the palm of my hand, and it worked. It cleaned it out. I rinsed it off, I washed it out, I put it all back together, and it foamed as if it was brand new. So that is probably the only, I don't know if it was a me thing or if it was a part thing. So what I do now is I actually take off the straw when I'm done, and if I have excess material or solution in there, I'll take the straw out with the top, remove it totally, and then I'll just reseal it like this and store it without a straw. So every time I go to use it, I'll just have to reinsert the straw into the Canon head, right? Thus far, I've done it a few times, and the friction is still there to keep the silicone straw into the head, so I haven't had any issues at all with that. I have to imagine if I ever do have an issue one day, these straws are pretty easy to get in general. I don't see an issue right now. So yeah, that was my 1-year review on the MJJC foam cannon. It's a great cannon. Besides those few cons, another con is, most people already know about this, that if you do end up somehow going upside down with it or to the side, it will leak, unlike the Pro version. However, most of the time, like 99% of the time, it's always on end, which is fine. It hasn't overall been an issue for me. The pros clearly outweigh the cons. So just want to let you know how that went with me for over a year now. So it's a year review with this MJJC SV3 foam cannon. I still love it. I still use it. I make minor adjustment now based on what I've learned about it. And if you want a discount code for anything on the MJJC website when you buy direct, just comment below that you want one and let me know and I'll post it. So So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away in the comments. I'm happy to answer them for you about what I think about this, anything other questions you might have, or anything in general about car detailing. Thanks so much for watching. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, share with everyone you know, and I'll see you on the next video.